Eduardo. We got Mr. Sadai, Emilio, Alana, Yolanda, Ronnie, Ruskin. How are we doing today?
Tremendous Tuesday.
Tremendous.
It is a tremendous Tuesday. How are you, buddy?
I'm well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. No complaints. Good morning, Ruskin. Good morning, everyone. I know John named everybody here. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you all here.
These are the passionate few, Bob. We have not
Very
set
good.
out the announcement for today or got anything started, and they showed up.
Fantastic. I think I put one up in the chat section, but not in the announcements. But I don't know if anybody really sees them or not. I think the announcements is the right place. So I'd like to ask a question of everybody here all right now. Why do you guys keep showing up every day? What are you guys getting out of this every day? Because most of you aren't asking necessarily questions. You're here to listen to us or to soak up whatever we say or maybe pick up a nugget here and there. I don't know. Why and I are here every day, and Matt and Dan and AB, we show up every day to give a helping hand, to help whatever questions you may have as far as real estate is concerned. Learn something new. Okay, cool. What are you going to do with that thing that you learn? What are you planning on doing with it? First time being here. Welcome. Emilio, thank you for joining us. So we come here every morning and answer people's questions about real estate and things of that nature. Whoa, AB, love it. Got a picture. Fantastic. Of you and your woman. Beautiful picture.
Where?
To learn and be in proximity to the right people. I've heard that one before, champ. Be in proximity to the right people. That's great. What's more important is whatever you guys learn by rubbing elbows with us or whatever is to take action with them. Go figure out what it is that you want to do. And if you hear one of us talk about it, then take some action. See if it works for you or not. Do you guys wholesale mainly? It depends on the person. Most of the people in here, yes, they wholesale. Wholesale is probably 50-60% of my business as well. But there are a lot of different strategies that we use here. So, for example, fix and flip, buy and hold, wraps, creative deals, like AB said. Get out of comfort zone and take chances. Attaboy, Mateo.
Oh wow, Angelo got a new photo. Okay.
What about the rest of you guys? Love it. Love it. Mr. Matt Riley, good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good, good. Working on some cool stuff. Me and Eduardo are working on right now. We've created a sub two website, which is going to double as a marketplace for sub two.
Nice.
I could probably show you real fast. And when I say we, obviously not me, because I don't know anything about that stuff. See this? but it's going to double as a marketplace where you can log on and post your sub 2 deals. So this is a San Antonio deal that I locked up yesterday.
Yeah, I'm
And it's got
afraid
all
I'm
the
not seeing
information on it.
anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't see it.
Can't see it?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna have to loom this. I don't mean to hijack the that sucks.
Let's
Well,
see.
I'll
Want to
drop
reconnect?
the in the chat. So
Want to reconnect?
Now we can't even hear you.
Let's reconnect.
this is not fun.
Not.
Hear
This
me?
is painful.
The Tennessee internet.
Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you.
Now we can.
Okay.
Can't see
I don't
you.
even know if I
Can't
want
see the
to.
screen, but we hear you. Let's see.
No? Can you
Loading.
see that or no?
Loading.
I give up.
Can you see mine?
I give up. Mine's
Don't
low.
give up, man.
Yeah.
When you give up, you lose, man. You can't give up, man. Are you a real closer? You're gonna follow up, man. You're gonna show up. You're gonna keep showing up. You're gonna keep
Ooh.
following up.
There it is. There it is.
You're
There
gonna
it is. There
keep
it is.
keep following up with these
There it is.
leads. You're gonna keep prospecting for new leads when the old
All right.
leads are not leads anymore. What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do, man?
So I can see Bob's
Gassing him
screen.
up.
So
Yeah. Okay, good.
yep. So that's a deal I locked up yesterday, sub 2. So if you scroll down, that has all the information, photos, and then that's the listing description. So that's where I would put all, and that property document section right there. If you scroll up a little bit, right there, that's where you can upload any additional documents. So I include like the mortgage statement, any other thing that I might have, I would upload it there. And then right there where the address is, where the blue box is, right to your right, if you click that, it'll open it up in Google Maps. So you can click that and it'll bring you to the Google Street View. So you can actually check out the area and location.
Is that important to you, Matt? The area and location?
Pretty, with real estate, I would say location and all that barely matters. So, yeah. Um, so yeah, the idea is basically to create a marketplace for sub 2 and creative primarily, where we can post our own deals. And it even has a section that's somewhere in there where it even includes like the PITI and entry fee. I think in that blue,
Yeah.
maybe interest
Yeah.
rate, 4%.
Can you guys
So,
see my screen or not?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
and then under features, obviously you can include any features that the property has. And then on the right, if you're a buyer, you can input your information to inquire about the property. So the plan is to obviously post all of our deals on there and then get this. Obviously, Eduardo just started working on this yesterday, so we're going to make it really nice. But then have it where other people can upload their deal, kind of like an investor lift, but obviously um,
Sub two.
different in a way.
Look at
Yeah,
this
just for
man,
sub
dude.
two
He's taking
primarily.
over. What was the other guy's name? I don't remember. I don't remember.
Because with investor list, I noticed that they do have a sub 2 tag on investor lift, but when you
Yeah.
click it and you search for buyers with sub 2, you'll get like 4. Like it's
Yeah.
just not there yet on investor lift because investor lift is for like cash buyers. You put in cash buyers, you're going to get 4 million people in your search results. So it's just not there yet. Where this is primarily going to be creative and sub 2. So posting, wholesalers or whoever else can upload their deals to it, and anybody that signs up and inquires about your property, you'll get all of their information, their phone and email, same way that it is on investor lift. So that's the plan right now. I used to package everything together on a Google Drive link and send that out, which I'll probably still
Right.
do. But this, at least, I think for like brand recognition wise, and also just a cleaner look. And on sub2.io, if you go just to the main page, it's similar to like a Zillow. So the idea is for you to be able to go on there and search for sub two deals across the country. So if you're like, oh, I want to look in Florida, I want to look in wherever, and then up there in the top section where it says wholesalers. So as we onboard people, you can add your contact information. So right now it's just all in small, which is me. You'd be able to upload your agency information on there so people can reach directly out to you, or click on the agency's view listings. And now I can just click on Bob Sadai's listings that Bob has, or whichever other individual has listings on that property. I have a little bio right there on the right hand side. So it allows other wholesalers somewhat brand recognition as well. Like I can include a profile picture, I can include all the different things there. So I think it's I think it's pretty cool. It allows you to stay, you can track the data of the buyers that are signing up. You can track where buyers are searching for as well. So it allows you kind of market research in that sense of like, okay, where are people actively searching at? So then we can target different areas of where the popular places are that people are trying to buy at. And Eduardo said property map looks similar to Zillow when you go to the properties also. Um, So again, this was just created yesterday. So where this will be in the next like 2 weeks in terms of like functionality and stuff like that, especially with Eduardo never sleeping, um, I think will be cool.
You'll be done by this afternoon.
I was gonna say he's probably already done at this point. We're already just ready to hit enter at this point. Um,
This is awesome.
It looks
I
great,
think
man.
it's
I
pretty
love it.
cool,
Yeah.
100%. So I think it's got definitely possibilities, and we'll keep adding things, of course, as we get feedback and what I kind of as I'm uploading stuff. But I think for the most part, it gives you exactly like if you're a buyer, this at least gives you a starting point of what you need. It has the listing description, it has the PITI, it has the interest rate. You're able to upload documents that the end buyer might need, like a mortgage statement, things like that. Um, and it allows them to sign right up and you get their information, you can reach back out to them.
So I got a question for you. So let's say we go back to your San Antonio deal here. The description that you have is, as always, perfect, great. Is this a templated section, or do you just
No,
fill
that's
it in any way you want?
so you can fill in, like if you were uploading a deal, you can whatever you want. So I literally, just for convenience and to do it quickly last night, I just copy and pasted my how I usually do it. But like if
Mm-hmm.
you were to upload your deal, you can. It's literally like a Word format where you can do different fonts, whatever you want. It's a blank thing that you can upload however you want it to. And obviously, it's
And for a
responsive to like
nominal fee, you could have the templated format too, right?
correct. So right, exactly, exactly. Yeah, you could make it. We'll give you a basic version where there's no fonts, there's no nothing, and then obviously for an upgraded account, you can add in, a most information.
Request information.
Yep.
I am a human being. No, not in here. Buyer, tenant, agent. Okay, cool. Do
Yep.
you
So
by buyer? That's obviously very generic. So that could be an investor or an end buyer, really.
yep, and that's I think going to be the biggest thing too. Of like, how people are always reaching out, I'm sure, and they're like, "Hey, I have a buyer for this." So they're more trying to JV. So it's like, I'm a wholesaler. I'm trying to JV. I'm an end buyer. Kind of just coordinate with, when we get inquiries, who is this person actually going to be? So that way you can coordinate who you reach out to first.
Is this free for everyone?
Right now it's free. You can log right on to sub2.io.
Fantastic. And how
Yeah,
are you
so
guys
it's cool.
promoting this? Because this has got to go out so that it gets filled, right? With as many properties as possible.
And that's yeah, so literally he's been working on sub2.io for a little bit, but like this getting it to this point just happened yesterday for the most part. So this is what I've been sending out to interested. I have a Pueblo, Colorado deal and I have this one. So this now is what I'm sending out to people, and I'm going to start reaching out to other higher volume producers in the space.
Mhm.
And will it improve their disposition right now? No, just because there's we're working on the marketing channels to get this out there, but just to get as many people onboarded in the beginning while it's still free, while it's in this, I
Mhm.
think will be cool. And again, filling up that map on sub2.io on the main page where you can actually see listings all across the country, going
Yep.
to the properties page and actually seeing. And, so I think once that's there, it's like a Discord group, right? Like you eventually start off, you're at 50 members. And then,
Right.
the goal is to continue to feed it and improve it. And then eventually now you'll have hundreds of listings to comb through. And then on our side, we're able to update it, that they're still for sale, they're under contract, they've been assigned, they're sold. So it's cool. And I'm sure, and I'm speaking, oh yeah, and we have a featured page as well. So like right now ours are featured because we're the only ones on there, but there's probably talks of if you want to be featured, if you want to be the top listing or whatever, then obviously that would be a paid version
Like
of
a
it.
featured agent. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Um,
So is this how it's going to get pinned? Or is it going to be an actual pin where you can go over, hover over it, and then get some?
I'd like that option, like similar to like a Zillow or something, where if you hover over it, it'll just bring up like a
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
Eduardo, take notes on this, will you? Hover over it, so it just brings up a box that just has like simple information on it. Purchase price,
Because
entry, something.
yeah, San Antonio, you're not going to have one. Houston, you're not going to have one
Yeah,
deal there.
exactly. Yep.
Right? And so it's just going to get way too crowded. And it's not going to look pretty that way.
I think if
My
you click the
opinion.
price, you see the small pin. If you click that,
Click on this.
yeah, what is it? What happens? Yeah, there you go. Okay. So
So
yeah,
instead
we got.
of the price, just have a pin.
Yep. Yeah, because like you
I
said,
mean,
if you
right
have
now it looks fine because there are only what, 2 or
there's
3
only yeah.
deals.
But like you
But
said, if you have multiple, it'll be so hard to click on each of those bigger boxes. So the
yeah,
smaller the icon, the better.
right. I mean, this might work in South Dakota, but it
Yeah.
ain't going to
Or
work in
Wyoming. Yeah, but
Texas, Florida.
I have to upload a deal in Wyoming. That might be a good. In those markets, you want big icons to make it look like we have more listings there. But in the more populated areas,
Make
I
them
think
bold
yeah, it'll take
or
up the whole
different
state.
colors. You might color
Yeah,
code
yeah,
them in a certain way. Hey, you
that's
could do that. I mean, is this just for creative deals, or can you put wholesale deals here too?
I imagine so. Yeah, I mean that'd be a good idea too. Like color coordinating it so if it's sub two or if it's a wholesale or a cash or whatever that is.
Mhm.
And I think that would be cool. And then maybe doing something as well to we wouldn't show under contract, I guess, on the map. So only active listings on the map, and then obviously on the right hand side you would see if it's still active or under contract. Um, but yeah, sub two and owner financing. But yeah, I mean wholesaling is it still a huge part of the industry for cash offers. Um,
I mean,
so
I understand that this is obviously by the name sub2.io. So you'd want it just to be for creative, perhaps, but maybe have something for wholesalers, be it sister website. You know,
yeah, the goal that I had originally planned, and it's kind of coming together like with this is cool, is like my idea was because again, we were talking about the market shift and things like that, pivoting to a new direction. And so I feel like wraps are going to be a pivotal exit strategy for the next 6 to 24 months because eventually it's going to be more commonplace for sub two interest rates to be 5 and 6%. It's going to be very few, and every once in a while you will come across that 2.5 to 3.5% interest rate and all those good ones. But
sure.
again, most sub twos that are taking place are sellers that just purchased 12 months ago or less. So we are far removed from the 2 and 3% interest rate days. So 12 months ago or less is gonna be 5% or higher. And so the problem is it's 5% to 6% interest rates at a super high purchase price because the values increased over that COVID period. So a lot of those are tough to cash flow as a long-term rental. So instead of sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to get back to where they were or waiting for a 3% interest rate sub 2 to come along, I think wraps are a great exit strategy in order to continue moving forward and continuing purchasing and creating cash flow and equity and things like that. So I wanted to create a marketplace for private money lenders and end buyers to come together on my deals and deals all something like this, creating a marketplace for those two individuals to come together. And then also a place for end buyers like an owner occupant to kind of encapsulate that as well so they can be purchasing our wrap deals as well. So I'd like to kind of put it all together some way, somehow. I don't know if it'll fall under this umbrella of this site, but that's the overall plan altogether. This is going to be really cool, I think,
Oh
for building
yeah.
a marketplace for sub two. Um, how it doesn't exist yet, I don't know. It's crazy. It creates a win-win. It creates a win for me because now I get to dispo my deals that much quicker. It creates a win for the lender because now they have a deal to lend on, and then it creates a win for that end buyer because now they don't have to bring their own money into the deal. And then we get the data on
Yeah.
everything. We got all the private money lenders, we got the buyers, we got everything in that scenario. So I've been testing that out. I've gotten some good results from that, reaching out to people. Um, so that's the goal, and then eventually creating it where owner occupants for the wraps. So I
I
think again,
love
it's
it.
going to be important.
Did you say you're going to add a tab for lenders too?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, and it's more like an out loud brainstorming thing. Of I don't know if that will fall under this. I would have to figure out how to make it make sense to have it fall under this umbrella, because it would make sense because the private money on the sub two deal, so it would make
Yeah.
sense in that situation. So trying to figure that out of, yeah, like maybe a lender tab where you can sign up as a private money lender, and then as a deal gets posted, again, an email goes out, new lending opportunity,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden I get people that are hitting me up, filling out the inquiry saying I'll be a private money on this deal, and now I can pair that with interested parties that are expressing interest on the deals.
Or HMLs. Doesn't have to necessarily be just PMLs.
Exactly. Any type of lender that's already viewed all the details, so they already got it sent to them. They've reviewed the mortgage statement, they reviewed all the things, and they're like, okay, I have the information I need. I will lend on this, whether it's HML or PML, and then I can partner that with interested people that are reaching out as well.
I love it. This is fantastic. The
Next
only thing
level.
is left really is to promote it.
Yeah,
Promote the heck out of it.
yeah, and that's going to be. I don't know if to me, yeah, I don't think it'll be. To me, I feel like that's the biggest struggle, of course, um, because I want to be able to get right now it's free. So again, we want to pack the website with people's listings, and so I think it'll be beneficial to them in the long run. Because again, we don't have any buyers on there right now per se. But
Mm.
as we build this up and we build out that buyer list,
Yeah.
because I'm going to upload my own buyers list to the website. We have another list that we're uploading. So eventually, this will start getting sent out, and we will start seeing traction from it, and we'll be able to track all the data from the hits and the clicks and everything else. So eventually, it'll get there. But I know we're only doing 30 minutes, so I apologize about that.
Why? This was a great 30 minutes.
I loved it.
And I have a feeling you're going to be on a lot of webinars.
I think it'll be again. It's weird that it doesn't. Maybe it does exist. I feel like you and I
Man,
are out there enough where we would probably know about it in a sense.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. I
it
haven't
exists in
seen anything
some
like this.
capacity, but yeah, it's weird to me that it doesn't exist. It's weird that we were able to get sub2.io as the domain name. Like it's weird
Right?
that all to me it makes sense. And I was talking to a commercial broker in Texas. I was talking about it about creating like a mini sub two fund, a mini creative fund. Like there's just so
Right.
many things that I just don't exist that I'm just surprised, which also makes me realize like this still is somewhat in its infancy stage of people understanding it. Again, on Investor Lift, you search cash buyer in wherever, and you're going to get 4 million potential buyers. You search the sub two tag and you'll get 5. So there's so many fix and flippers that I've been talking to in the last 3 weeks, and they can't do fix and flips right now. The margins are too thin, market times are up, all of these. So they're trying to pivot. They don't even know about sub two. And so they're trying to purchase their first sub two. So there's a lot of resources and education that needs to be done for those types of people to convert them into the sub two market, into the creative space. And I think a place like sub2.io is a great place for them to get situated and figure it out and look at listings and look at the listing descriptions and kind of understand what sub two is, read a lot of the terminology. I'd love to even have maybe a section on there like explaining sub two, like having videos on there just for like simple sub two questions and answers. Like I was going to do that on Mr. Rinse and Repeat, which I probably still will. Mr. Rinse and Repeat, I think will be more for me and like brand recognition wise just like as an introduction to me. So like if I get an objection from a seller or a listing agent, like, hey, we don't know who you are, we don't know, cool, I can send you this. Now this is a perfect, resume of who I am. But I think Sub2.io, there should be a section as well for maybe brand new people to the Sub2 space. And here's some common questions that you might have purchasing a Sub2. And we'll just have question and answer section. So I think there's some opportunity there to educate more people on it, to make them feel more comfortable in purchasing maybe their first Sub2.
Yeah, I probably would just put snippets and then put links to Mr. Rinse and Repeat
Yeah, that's a good idea too, to
for
make
them
sure
to
that
go
it's,
there.
because I don't want to burn that bridge. I still want that to be a thing. And I still think that has value to it, again, in like a brand recognition way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really cool.
Very nice. Congratulations, both to you and Eduardo.
Yes,
Do you leave
sir.
already? He went to
So
pick up his kids. All right.
Eduardo's a genius.
Yes, he is. Jakai, you got 1.5 minutes, buddy. What you got going?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Great.
How are you?
Morning.
So, with that land deal that I have under contract, I just found out maybe about an hour ago. I was contacted by another investor saying that they have a contract with the seller. And
Ooh.
according to their contract, the seller sent me a screenshot of the contract that she signed back in March. That the expiration date is for 1 year. There's no tentative closing date. And they also I don't think they opened up escrow as of yet. They said they did a
That's what I was
title
going to ask.
search.
Have they opened escrow?
Yeah, I don't know. He won't tell me if he's open escrow or anything,
Well, he
but
has
there's
now.
no closing date,
I mean, he'd be stupid not to open escrow.
right?
If he knows that the woman is signing contracts with other people like you,
Yeah,
he is going to open escrow.
right. So I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything that I could do, anything that I should do.
I mean, if you were the first one, then I'd tell you to file a memorandum. But even filing a memorandum at this time, they're gonna probably deny it. I don't know. So I'd
Right,
just go back to the seller and go, "What's going on? I just found out that you signed a contract for a year with someone else too."
right. So I spoke to her already, and she forgot that she signed it because this was back in March. Um, and like I said, there's no closing date on the contract. So she doesn't know what's going on. She hadn't been in contact with them. They hadn't been in contact with her until today. They saw my post in the Winston-Salem investors group on Facebook and reached out to me like, hey, we have a contract too. So I asked the seller
And they
about
sent
it.
you a screenshot of their contract. Is that what you said?
No, the seller sent me a screenshot of the contract that she signed.
With them.
Yes.
That's a tough one.
I would move on, bro. Honestly, dude, it doesn't sound like there
Yeah.
was a
I
lot of
mean,
money on that deal anyway, bro.
if we're talking like 6 figures, I'd fight. But otherwise, yeah, it's just better to move on.
And that's the confusing part, which is what I wanted to talk to you guys about the other day when we comped it. Because according to our comps, or according to the comp, um, that 20% is like 50 grand. So that's like a 35 to 40 grand spread right there if there was a buyer that was willing to pay that amount. But according to that comp, the buyer that bought that property purchased it for 9 grand. I have it under contract for 13.
So do this. Why don't you go and work with the other company that has it under contract to find a buyer? Work together to find a buyer for it. Find out, hey,
So
okay, I understand. Yeah,
I don't mean to cut you off, but according to them, they are that for land.
I see. So they're developers themselves and they're going to buy. Yeah, I'd move on. Sorry.
Okay. All good, man. Thanks for the
Yep,
clarification.
you got it. Who are you guys talking about? Oh, this is a Sub2 deal guy. Yeah, we've been coming across a couple of Richards ourselves too. lately?
Oh yeah, Rich. Yeah. That was this guy was he was certainly not the worst I've ever talked to, but he wasn't King Richard. He was farther down the totem pole of Richards, but he was not the nicest interaction I've had in the last couple months.
Yeah.
I got a
Okay.
question. I got a quick question before we end this off.
Sorry,
If you guys
gotta
have
go.
1 second.
What's going on, AB?
So, I had this deal that was ready to be assigned, right? And he accepted. He wanted 80,000, right? And then I had my buyer go walk it the next day. I came back. I negotiated. Boom. He gave me his bottom line number, and then I was on track to make a nice little 10,000. But then he said, before we sign anything, because I had him on the phone, I was like, okay, good. We walked it. We like it. Let's get on. Let me send you over an agreement. And then he said, all right, no problem. I'm gonna have to talk to the wife. So I know how to get around certain things like that, like the wife situation. But like, what would you do, like, just for if it's happened to you in the past? What would you do where you get a number accepted, you're ready to go, everything's walked, then he hits you with the wife, and you hit him back with, like, who wears the pants in the relationship, yada yada yada, and then you still have to, right? So the whole plan, we were gonna get on a three-way call,
There you go.
him, the wife, on the next future deal.
The next future deal? What do you mean?
So like, if I run into that same
I
situation,
see.
how am I gonna overcome, not putting myself in that again? Because I wasted my time, and then I look back to my buyer because he was ready to go, EMD and everything.
So speed is always important, right? I'm sure you know that. So, I mean, next time if they say, well, I got to talk to my wife or got to talk to my partner, my agent, my lawyer, it doesn't matter who. Okay. I completely understand if I were in your position, I would want to do the same thing with when they say I need my wife to say again, I don't tie my shoes without having to my wife. So you think we can get her on now.
Yeah.
Put them on the spot, bring them on right there.
Now
Okay.
if they were working.
No. Okay. When's her lunch break? This is a great deal. I don't want you to lose out on this. Oh, this is a seller, right?
Yeah, this is a seller.
Okay. So I am a very interested party, and I want to make sure that we can do something about this. And I want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable about this as soon as possible so that we can move forward. Okay. So when's the first available time? When's her lunch break? What time does she get off
Because
work?
I was digging in there. I just didn't want to sound pushy and desperate. Like I wasn't in need of it. But
Why?
because I've done that in the past, and
Uh-huh.
then it didn't go the best towards the end because it said it sounded a little bit pushy.
Yeah,
So
there's
I
a
feel like if I sound
fine
off like,
line right there, AB. There's a fine line between being really chill, okay, and not giving a shit, and also being so pushy that they're gonna get turned off. You just have to find that balance right there, okay? And each person's gonna be different. You have to poke a little bit and push back, pull back. Okay,
because I like
poke a
to get
little,
off the
pull
memo
back.
that, like, I'm not in a desperate need, because at the end of the day, like, it wasn't like I was lowballing him crazy.
Mhm.
He wanted 80K, right? He wanted 80K. I offered him 60. I offered him 65.
Okay.
Then he goes like, "Man, I'll do bottom line 70." So I didn't think we were far. I didn't think we were
No.
far at all. At all. What he was asking for, my buyer would pay for. So it's like, at the end of the day, your first price is you're never gonna get as a seller unless it's a killer
Right.
deal. So there had to be some wiggle room. It's just more the fact that, like, I didn't think that would kill it. But when I do these, yeah, I like to sound that I'm not in a desperate situation to buy this house. But I mean, if we were talking, 20 plus, 30 plus, and that's a whole different ball game right there. Especially, I know that I can assign it right when he signs.
I would always
Another way of
go ahead, Bob.
Sorry. I was just going to say another way of going about it would be just to reverse that. And instead of making yourself seem desperate, make yourself seem scarce. meaning that, hey, I completely understand you need to talk to your wife and what have you. I just have a certain allocation of money that I can spend, and I'm spending that on a weekly basis. I can buy 2 to 3 houses every week. That's the amount of money that I have. I would love to be able to close yours as one of those 2 to 3 deals. Okay, and then pull back. So pull back
Okay,
instead
like
of
Dalton just said, we
pushing.
give 7, 10 offers a day. We don't have unlimited money. That's smart.
Yeah.
I
Just say,
always say
our
that.
money is scarce.
I always say that. I'm fully transparent in those scenarios where they're like, okay, it's either, let's say it's on market and they just hit and they're like, this is a great offer, but we just want to test out the market for a little bit. Is it okay if we reach back out to you in X amount of time? I'm like, not a problem. All I will say, no pressure tactics. I am not a hedge fund. I don't have access to $100 million. I have access to my own money, and that money will get. I'm right after I'm getting off the phone with you. I have 5 other phone calls pretty much every single day that I have. So as soon as that money is gone, it's gone. And when I replenish it, I get back in the market. So if you come back to me in 2, 3, 4 weeks time, I can't guarantee that I'll be there. This isn't pressure tactics. Of course, I want you to feel good about this offer. I want you to accept it because you want to accept it. But I just can't promise that I will be here in that event that you come back too late.
Yep. The
Perfect.
other thing is, AB and everybody else, there's a difference between desperate and hungry. Okay. You don't want to be desperate, like you said, but you want to be hungry. And it's okay to show that you're hungry. Okay. So don't forget that.
This deal, trust me, I've been hungry for this deal. This deal's from December of 2022. He wanted
There you
110
go.
when we reached out. We reached out to him like 2 weeks ago. Now he's at 80K, and he's just gonna get called up in December or January. So
Yeah. And posturing yourself as you're busy too, like, hey, I got to get my wife
Yeah.
on the phone. She's busy with work. Like, I understand that. You can either play the wife card like I would play, or you can play the busy card as well. I'm like, is there any chance that you both might be available today? My calendar is pretty booked up tomorrow. I'm looking at it right now. I already have 13 phone calls lined up tomorrow. Whatever it is there any chance that we could do that? Today at any point? I'll make myself available.
he thought I was like a different person.
The guy that said that his
Left
mom
you
left
like a
you
birthday
a
card.
birthday card.
Yeah.
Yeah, this poor guy's mom died, and AB cold called him, and the guy thought that AB was somebody else from the jump, and thought that like AB was a family friend, and the guy's mom passed away, and the guy was like, "You were so great to her, like she
Oh,
was talking
wow.
about you before she died, like you've been such a good friend to the family." When we were cleaning out her house, we found a birthday card that she wrote to you, and I was like, I was typing in the side chat, and I was like, "AB, you gotta get. She thinks you're somebody else. You gotta get out of this. You cannot."
It's funny because like through all that, like as messed up as it sounds, I still hit him. Well, is that property still for sale? After his it was like a good like 10-minute conversation about some guy. What was his name? He thought I was some guy named like Fred or
It was
something like that. It
it
started with
was
an F.
wild, wild.
That was a funny story.
But I think
Well,
that's yeah. I think being transparent is key
yeah.
in the offers. Again, to me personally, and because when I was selling my portfolio or when I'm selling my properties, and I get wholesalers that call me, and I get as soon as I get somebody on the phone and they're calling me, and I can hear it in their voice or some of the terminology they're using, and then they also throw out we're buying 10 to 30 properties a month. I'm like, you're lying. You're lying. You're probably lying. 10 to 30 a month is top level. Oh, so the 1% of buyers is calling me right now on my, $90,000 property in the south side of Chicago? Like, probably not. And so transparency to me is always just key. Like, be realistic. Again, I'm not a hedge fund. I don't have access to $100 million. I wish I did. I have access to the funds I have access to. And once those are gone, they're gone. And when they replenish, I'll be back. But that might be 60 days from now. It might be 6 months from now. I'm not exactly sure. So I can't sit on my hands. So after we get off the phone, I will be having another 5 phone calls with
Yep.
other offers I have out there.
Yep.
And it just keeps everybody on the same page.
All right. I think we're all done except Mr. Fazio is here, and we can't close without seeing what he says. Danielson.
What's going on, guys?
How's it going, Dan?
What up, Dan?
I got one question for you guys.
Oh boy.
How many of you guys right now are working with Mike Martin doing SMS campaigns?
I.
Got an announcement for those of you who are.
Uh-oh, this sounds like a package deal.
So if you right now are working with Mike Martin and REI Reply, run your SMS, Mike Martin and I are combining hours to offer you a better product for a cheaper price. And we are going to migrate you over to the new service for free. And you'll also be able to still stay with Mike and his team. And that's all be ready by next week. So those of you who are using Mike Martin's service, and also you guys are going to get the ability to now be able to support REI Rev just by using me and Mike Martin's service combined together. And if
So
you aren't even using Mike Martin's service, there's going to be another option as well. So
now, which servers are you being integrated to? Because I know there's
very
two.
similar. You're going to have a very similar user interface to REI Reply. You're going to have a very similar user interface, but I'm not going to charge you guys as much as the REI Reply is charging you guys per month. And it will allow
I'm asking. There's two integration when it comes to Mike. Mike will either just set up your system, and then that's it, or then Mike also sets up your system and then has his team
for the partnership program and for the SMS service.
Oh, okay. Bet.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
And then you guys are also going to be able to support the REI community just by working with us. Because
I think you need to come over tomorrow, Dan, and discuss this in further detail. No, seriously. First of all, you're breaking up. I can barely hear what you're saying.
Me and Mike are doing a call today. So obviously we want to support this community, right? We need to put John back into place to where he can run the community and add in more things like courses and those kind of things. So we need to give this community the ability to be able to generate income, and Mike and I want to find a way to do that. So, I want to do it without like charging you guys through a paywall. So it gives us the ability to kind of give you guys a cheaper price, but add money into the community for us to be able to do more things, have more things. And then also you're gonna have the ability to support both me and Mike, who have brought value to you guys on a consistent basis in this community. And Mike's not going to be able to get paid what he deserves from bringing with the CRM service, because right now,
Dan, I don't mean to cut you off, Dan, but is there any possible way you can like go a little bit down somewhere we can get better connection?
I'm doing cardio right now, man. I got 15 minutes before my first call.
That's why I said you should come over tomorrow, maybe with Matt.
Yeah, because like we're hearing you, but we rather hear it completely, loud and clear.
Dan, can you go 65 floors lower in your high rise in order for us to be able to hear you?
Please.
Or go higher. Jesus.
Yeah, or maybe the answer is just get closer to the satellite. Actually, probably right there.
I'm trying. Do my best.
No, but seriously, Dan, I think you and Mike should come on tomorrow and chat about this.
Me and John are going to have a discussion about how to bring value to the community, and then me and Mike are going to have a discussion about really how to smoothly integrate everybody. But this is going to be a beneficial thing for literally not only you guys in the community, but also the community itself, and then also me and Mike. So it benefits everybody. If you're using a CRM, because you have to use one in this business, if you're using one, you're going to be playing yourself if you don't switch over and make the switch. So it benefits everybody in all equal ways. And that's what me and Mike are trying to do. We're trying to bring you guys value and the community value.
Way past.
Yeah, and love to use the community as well. Obviously, everything's free, so feedback, anything that anybody wants to provide, we'll help in whichever way we can as well during the process, and so whichever way we can all coordinate together.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, everyone. It was great being with you. It was a great conversation about Sub 2. We're going to hear some more from Dan and Mike tomorrow. So look forward to seeing you all then. Have a great day and keep grinding. Go get your deals.
Peace.